James, I was at a neighborhood party the other night, bunch of voting Republican neighbors, about 10 of us sitting around there having a couple cocktails, and I brought up ESG. These are all moderately successful people, fairly successful people, and not one person sitting around that table even knew what it was. I told them all to pull out their phones, look up their bank, and look up ESG, and their jaws all hit the floor. Why is something that's so broad and so powerful not known?
That's a really good question that I don't know the answer to. I have gone around not just with moderately successful Republicans in business. I have gone around to politicians in, I don't know, maybe a dozen states who I talked to them about ESG and what an emergency ESG is and how it's tied into the pushes for diversity, equity, inclusion, and therefore equity, which equalizes downward because socialism is a redistribution scheme, not a production scheme. So it just brings things down. But they all tell me, I've maybe heard that one time in my life before you talked about it for half an hour just now. What is it? I don't understand how. I have no idea how they've been able to slide this central pillar of kind of investment finance under the radar of so many people so effectively over the past decade or so, but they have done so. And people need to wake up very quickly to the fact that ESG, as I like to put it, is the ring that they put through the nose of the bull on Wall Street. You want to control a bull, you put a ring through its nose. ESG is what they slid through the nostrils.
Speaking of Wall Street, Morgan Stanley's CEO, James Gorman, of course, the World Economic Forum is going on right now. Here's a little video clip of James Gorman playing dumb. I want you to watch this. I have a question for Carol.
In my, I think, 12 trips to Davos, I couldn't go this year because it actually is today, I believe, or yesterday. Listen, the World Economic Forum brings together a variety of opinions from leaders and thought-provoking individuals around the world. There's many platforms expressed there and many points of view, certainly some that I don't share, but we participate in it because we want to be an agent for constructive dialogue around the globe.
Carol, two-part question here. One, that's an intelligent human being. Is he really unaware of exactly what the agenda is at the World Economic Forum? I have a very difficult time believing that. That's one. And two, if not, why would the Morgan Stanley CEO ever sign on to something as destructive as ESG when his job is to make shareholders money?
So I actually, not knowing the gentleman, but whether it's him or other CEOs, a lot of them don't have any idea what the World Economic Forum actually stands for or what ESG means, even though they have to push it through their organization. And that's because there is an entire class of racketeers, people in the consulting business, in the legal business, in accounting businesses that have said this is something important because they have found they can extract fees from it, right? They can say we're experts in the new thing and this is going to be important to you. And if you don't do this, you're not going to get the accolades. And the CEOs go, man, I don't want this headache. It's all risk mitigation to them. So fine, that, that sounds great. Go ahead and HR or whatever, go and run with this. And so I do think a lot of people go to the World Economic Forum because they see a lot of other people there. I know I went as a blogger in, like 2010 or 2011 in New York City when somebody said, oh, there's this place with a lot of big fancy people and ideas and you can listen to the sessions and, tweet about it and write blogs. And, at the surface level, if you don't investigate, it sounds interesting. It's only when you do the deep dive into it and you start to see what they're doing and how they're really coming up with these centrally planned ideas and pushing them through mechanisms like ESG that it all goes from sounding really nice and being this elite cocktail party to being really darn scary.
Yeah. That sucks because I like cocktail parties. James, we just saw that bald-headed freak Klaus Schwab on the screen as Carol was talking there. Everyone knows his Bond movie villain sound of his voice by now, at least everyone who watches my show or pays attention to either of you. What I want to know is how does this guy possess whatever he possesses to pull in so many powerful people from around the world? I mean, you look at that list of attendees, it's a who's who of billionaires and politicians and senators and parliament, and he's got them all there. What's this guy got dirt on everyone or something?
He probably does have dirt on everyone. But I mean, let's be a little bit more cautious. He started this off. People don't realize this is 50 years old. He started the World Economic Forum in 1971. He's been pushing for his stakeholder capitalism model for the fourth industrial revolution for 50 years. And he started it not alone as some weirdo European that might have been extraordinarily well connected in various industries in Europe, but also as the protege of Henry Kissinger, who is no small name to be throwing around. So he started with massive connections that he leveraged by creating his Who's Who Club, his cocktail party, if you will, that he started bringing a lot of people to in order to shape the vision of the future. And he's been at it for 50 years, where it's slowly been gaining more and more and more clout by the usual mechanisms, which is, oh, we're doing this cool thing and you have to pay a lot of money to get into it. It must be really elite and important for shaping the future. You come, and you start bringing people together, business leaders, politicians, major foundation leaders, influential people like Henry Kissinger and so on that have lots of connections, and you can just start bringing people into kind of a cabal where they want to rub elbows with those people, whether they give a crap what the World Economic Forum stands for or not. And so it's the classic kind of elite scam in order to get people together to build out an organization, and he has a monomaniacal vision for what to do with it.
Jesse Kelly Breaks History, Vladimir Lenin, a new First TV exclusive special hosted by Jesse Kelly. Visit thefirsttv.com or download the First TV app to subscribe and start watching today.